Welcome to Street Talk, where today we look at a highly relevant conversation, how to make a big career change. Lots of people are in industries experiencing massive upheaval, travel, tourism, hospitality and professional sports. And today we are fortunate to interview high-performance coach Hamish Barton, who's transitioned from one industry to another very different one. Hamish has moved from professional and elite sports, where he's held positions like national cricket coach in several countries, including the very successful White Ferns cricket team. He has also been high performance coach for a professional netball team, the Northern Mystics, and a stint at Canoeing New Zealand. He is now the coaching and development manager for Bailey's in the North, a market-leading real estate agent with offices across the north of New Zealand. Hamish, thanks for your time today.
No, it's great to be here.
And I appreciate the comfort of the seats for this edition of Street Talk. A lot of people all around the world are going through massive transitions in their career, facing unemployment for potentially the first time. We're talking about millions of people probably across the globe, and probably 10,000 people or more in New Zealand, and maybe more are going to go through it. So Street Talk today is really about this transition from one occupation to another.
Yeah.
Not necessarily because you want to make it, but because you have to. So sitting down with you and being able to explore how you've made this transition successfully is something that perhaps we can share and might help a lot of people make the move or decide that it's a possible move. And I think that's a great place to start. So how did you do it? What made you think this move was okay?
Well, I think stepping back a step in terms of just getting an understanding of who you are as a person and where you want to go and who you want to become is a good place to start, rather than transitioning around different roles and just doing it for the sake of doing it. You want to have a sense of purpose around what you're doing. As you said, there will be millions of people thinking, what am I going to do right now? I reckon it's a good time to reflect and think, okay, where have I come from? Where am I at right now? And where do I want to go to? Because I think the next move will be an important one. And it might not mean that you go to your dream job straight away. It might mean that you have to jump around a little bit to get to where you want to go.
Potentially it's a bit more like snakes and ladders at the moment, right?
Yeah, but that's okay.
Yeah, I agree.
I think being kind to yourself and not putting too much pressure on yourself. I think being connected with community and not sort of pigeonholing yourself at home and sort of just trawling through websites trying to find jobs. Get out, especially as countries start to open up and sport becomes a big part. Just being part of a community type environment where you're meeting people, you're talking to people. There's going to be opportunities, but you just got to open up and be open to those opportunities and be ready when that opportunity comes.
This is a nice segue, actually. How did you find out about this position, this opportunity?
Yeah, well, it was through that. It was through community sport. I'm on a cricket committee, and one of the members on the cricket committee is one of the directors of Bailey's Real Estate.
Networking.
And we were talking about high performance. We were talking about what I've done in sport, and over a number of months we were just informal chat really. And the role had been they've been creating a role in the background for someone to come into the role that I'm in now, this coaching and development role. And it came from that really. It was just good timing, I suppose. Going back to your original question around, people are in a bit of a state of change right now, but just stay open to opportunity, because opportunities will come. And I think mindset, self-belief, confidence that you can transition into another role, into another industry, into a completely different role that you never thought you'd probably be in, but be open to that and have the self-belief that you can do it.
How did you prepare for that interview or that whole process of getting hired, knowing you'd come from a totally different industry, going to a new one, where perhaps the focus is different?
Yeah, I remember opening the job description on my computer and just sort of scrolling through it going, yeah, I can do that, yeah, I could do that, yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I don't know much about that, but I could learn that. I don't know much about that. So you go through, I just sort of filtered through it.
So you didn't give up when you saw the bits you couldn't do?
No.
You didn't can it, you thought, okay, I've got a good chunk of this, but there's some pieces.
I can learn, you can learn stuff. You don't have to come in with all the knowledge and all the experience. So I went through the job description, printed it off, and just wrote questions. I mean, it's okay not to know.
Yeah.
So when I went through the process of meeting all the directors and talking about the role, I just had my sheet of paper, the job description with all the questions written all over. I'd scribbled all over it.
Yeah.
And I just asked questions. When I got the opportunity to ask questions, that's what I did. And I think that's a good thing, to show that you don't have to know everything, but you have to be inquisitive, you have to be curious to find out more and understand.
So after that research, sitting down for those interviews, how did you identify what they were looking for and prove you were the right person for the job?
Just believing in myself, I suppose, and the confidence aspect. I mean, our internal chat has a big part to play in terms of how we think, how we feel, and how we behave.
I'm glad you touched on that,
So,
because a lot of it has to be about attitude and belief in yourself.
Absolutely,
You've got to have some
you have
confidence.
to prove.
Yeah.
It's like you've got to prove to them that you are the right person for this role.
And you've just got to know to yourself that you can actually add value.
Yeah.
And if you believe you can add value,
Totally.
you can certainly take the
I
challenge.
think if you walk into an interview and your internal chat is, you're not good enough for this role, you don't know anything about this industry, you're talking to 3 of the big directors of the company, how daunting is, if you start that internal, you'll start to feel anxious, and it'll come through in terms of how you talk and how you interact with
So how do you make sure that you've got the right internal chat? Because this is a great piece of advice.
Well, awareness is a key. Being aware of your internal chat is critical. And when you're aware of the fact that there might be some negativity coming into the way that you're talking, or the way that you're thinking, change it. Just keep talking. You might have a little mantra: "You're good enough. You can do this," and just keep going back to that. I think the other part is preparation. If you're prepared and you know that you've done everything that you can to put yourself in the right position to put your best foot forward, you'll feel better. So you'll think better, you'll feel better, and you'll act more confidently.
What would you say to a friend who has to change industries to find a job?
I mean, fundamentally believe in yourself, and then reflect on all the skills that and the experiences and the knowledge that you've developed over many years of working in whatever industry that might be, and then match that up and understand that a lot of the skills and expertise and knowledge that you've got will cross over into many different industries. And the fact that people want good people. It's not just about the skills that they bring. Culture's such a big part of all organisations and businesses now. So if you're a good person, you understand who you are, and you've got a vision for where you want to go, and you understand the skills that you can bring to an industry or to a business, just believe in yourself that you can do it.
Hamish Barton, thank you very much.
Cheers, Dave.
This has been another edition of Street Talk. And next week we're going to have a look at how we can help you move from one industry to another.